All right, same as always. I've already taken still photos of the exterior panels with an emphasis on any cosmetic imperfections and with some emphasis on the body panel gap and fit. So we'll be touching on that here in a second. Moving on to the front of the vehicle, starting off there. Front bumper chrome looks decent, still presentable, good. I always tap on the grills, nicely secured. A little rattly there, but so if I hear rattle noises for coming from the front, I may suspect that. Just saw some smudges here. I tried cleaning that, but I don't want to rub it too much. The paint does look good. I don't see any paint imperfections, and it is smooth to the touch. Right. Cap looks good here, fit. And let's start with some readings here. Here you can see where the paint is lifted somewhat, but again, I just noticed this and I'm about 8 inches away. Standing 2 or 3 feet, you probably won't even notice it. Readings 8 mils, 9 mil, 11, 8.5. Here on the back end of the panel to the cowl, the fit is it is lifted here, so that would need some attention as well. So looking at that, let's get some fender readings. 13.5, 18. Car's a little dusty, so this is this dust that's picking up, so there's no cosmetic flaws there. Okay, 11.5, 13, 11.5. Nameplate looks good. Right. Looking at the left front wheel, Maxxis radials. It's a 245, 45, 17. Speed rating is a 95W. I was looking for the DOT number, but that's one I cannot decode on this one. And here's a shot of the wheel well area. Again, just trying to capture as many angles as possible. So far, it's looking pretty clean. I like what I see so far. And then we'll do a side panel view as well, checking for dings, dents, and signs of waviness. Okay, looking at the windshield. Don't see any obvious chips, cracks, or signs of delamination. Just gotta wipe it down a little bit, but not picking up on anything. I'll check the operation of the windshield wipers, and the chrome looks pretty good. The one thing that will need immediate attention here is that we can see rust and now rot blistering here for maybe when water gets stuck there. So this is something that would need to get refinished to stop that from spreading. Chrome here is going to need some attention as well. I can already see the pitting here on the wing window trim, and then the outside mirror, and then as well as the outside pull handles. Okay, glass looks like it's in good shape. Let's get some roof readings. 11.5, 12, 11.5, 10.5. Door readings 7.5, 12, 7.5, and 8.5. Let's see how the door opens and closes. Remember, we're going to check to see if it drops with an emphasis on the swage line. So let me dial in on there. Open the door. Okay. Just a slight drop. I'm more concerned about how it closes, and with a little bit of effort, it closes pretty nice. But you can see where the body line gets really tight right here versus the top end, and it's slightly kicked up right there. You can see some rust here, which will need some attention. And then again, you can see how this will need to get re-chromed. And let's do the left quarter panel. 11, 13, 13, and 10. Left wheel well area. Outside tire looks good. Don't see any curb rash or damage to the rim. And it is drum brakes front and rear. Let's do a side panel view here. All right, here at the back, this little white here is just wax buildup. So that's nothing there. Okay, lenses look decent. I got the date stamps there, and the chrome back here still presentable. Nameplate's nicely secured. This looks good. And again, we're getting some rust and metal rot here at the base of the glass. So that would need to get stripped down, repaired, and repainted before it gets any worse. Okay, glass looks good. Back shelf, parcel shelf looks good. Aftermarket speakers. Here's some more blistering here. So it's this whole rear panel here that would need to get redone. Bright work looks decent. I don't want to rub my hands across the paint too much because, again, there's a light coating of dust, as you can see, or dirt, and I don't want to scratch the finish. So I'll just do little spot touches there. 9, 11 and a half, or 11, 13 and a half. Okay, quarter panel readings. 10, 11.5, 10, 11.5, right rear. I'll just do a quick run through here. Don't see any sidewall damage or curb rash on the rims. And let's just do the side panel view again. Bright work's gonna need the attention on this side as well, and on the pull handle. Let's go and open the door. Let's keep an eye on the swage lines here. That's our reference marks. This is a slight drop, but when I open, or when I lift the door, I don't feel any play coming from the hinges. And let's see how it closes. Okay, not bad. This requires just a little bit of effort there, so definitely seen a lot worse. All right, a little bit of touch-up paint there, and I can see some prep issue work here where it looks like maybe some paint shrinkage. 10, 9.5, 8, 11, 12, 9.5, and 12. So when I run my hand across here where there's no dust settling, I mean, it is smooth to the touch. I can see some paint failure, and then the wheel well area. No outside damage, and then one final pushback view before moving on. All right, I'm going to be starting the vehicle up for the first time. I touched the engine. It is cool to the touch, so it's almost like a cold start condition. Also, we're gonna pay attention to the exhaust. Remember, we don't want to see black, blue, gray, or white. That all means something. Condensation is okay, and initial smoke at startup, that's permissible. But remember, if it's just ongoing, then there's some issues internally with the engine. I'm going to step on the brakes, reverse lights, turn signals as well, and test that while I'm back here running the video. I'm going to crank it first without stepping on the accelerator, but if it doesn't start up, then I will tap on the accelerator a little bit. Here we go. Okay, that was a great startup. It pretty much fired on the click of the ignition. I don't rev it up too much right now because the engine is cold, but I'll be checking it later on once it's idle for a while or road testing. See a little bit of condensation coming out. Oh, that's okay, right? I can see it on the right side, the water a little bit. Left side's pretty dry, but so far no issues that I'm seeing on my end. Just walking towards the engine bay area now. Let's just take a quick look at the gauges. Pedometer's at 39,930. Oil pressure is at halfway. Fuel is at half, and then we'll keep an eye on the temperature gauge. We're not getting a reading just yet, but that makes sense, right? Going here towards the engine bay area. I've already taken a look at the underside of the panel. Didn't see any issues going there. The wiring looks good. The springs support the weight of the panel as well, so that's up by itself. No, let me check the coolant right now while it's still cool enough. Remember, we don't want to see any bubbling. And the fluid looks good. I don't see any signs of cross-contamination. Alright, I've already checked the oil and the transmission fluid. That looked good. The surface rust that we're seeing here is they live close to the beach, so that's what I typically see when cars are close to the beach. Just kind of surface rust that I see. Looking at the pulleys, they look pretty straight. Don't see any wobbling. I've already looked at the kind of got a good look at the engine bay area. Don't see any obvious damage. AC is not hooked up, right? And sounds pretty solid, right? I'm not hearing any abnormal noises coming from the top end or the bottom end of the vehicle. I don't hear any misfiring. Right. So far pretty healthy. Power steering fluid didn't get a reading there. Brake fluid looked pretty dark. That's something that should get do like a fluid exchange if you decide to go with the vehicle. There's the stamped numbers there on the fender on the left side, which is kind of nice to see, and I got it on the right side. The engine number is back there, which I was able to get, so I just got to check the photos, and so that's kind of like an added bonus there when we can capture the engine number as well. Okay, I'll stay quiet here for a second. All right, so as you can hear, the engine still, sounds pretty smooth. What I do at this point here is we're going to take a look at the exhaust one last time there. Yep, looks good. Just the condensation. And what I do now is I'll still move on with the rest of the car, but I'll let it idle for 10 or 15 minutes so that way we can see if it overheats. I'll close the hood as well and move on. If there's something else that I need to add to this segment of the video, I will. Shifting and the automatic, and it's shifting seamlessly. Performance is good. No shimmy coming from the steering wheel. We're doing about 50 miles an hour now. RPMs are just purring. When I come to this light here, I'll see if I can come to a complete stop, and the vehicle doesn't pull to the left or to the right. It's just a slight veer, but I wouldn't even consider that an issue as far as the drums locking up or anything like that. And then I'll be sure to accelerate it and stay quiet while I'm doing that once I make this turn. I just have to, when we get back, to verify the lights, make sure those all work. The blinker is flashing in here. So I'm in drive now and pulling out, and then we got the nice runway here, so here we go. So I have to slow down. This is still a residential area, so but as you can see, there's no issues with performance. I didn't hear any misfires or lack of power at all. I'm not hearing any squeaks or rattles coming from the suspension either, so it seems to perform well. The only thing I did notice is the shifter. It feels like it's binding up on something. It's not doesn't have that free motion. It's almost has the linkages binding up on something. But I am able to get it into gear. And we'll do one last time. As you can hear, the transmission just shift really nice, no slipping whatsoever. So I'm going to go ahead and shut down the video at this point, but if there's anything else that comes up, I'll be sure to add it on.